Before the existence of the W206 C-Class, the C63E Performance, there was a powerful turbo 4, and Mercedes took that most powerful turbo 4 engine and put in this, the latest generation of the CLA class. This, guys, is the C118, the latest, the second generation of the CLA Coupe. And today we're going to talk about everything that this car is, and if it really is that powerful turbo 4 that it claims to be. For this generation, we have beside me the top of the line of the CLA series, the CLA45, and this car is beautiful. It also is actually different from the CLA250. So to begin with, the first thing you'd actually notice is that you have two extra horns on the hood to show you that this is the AMG and not just any AMG, that 45. Of course, right here you have a beauty to look at. So you have your LED daytime running lamps, LED headlamps. You have a very wide grille with massive air intakes to fit that baby engine in there. We're going to talk about that later. Of course, right lower in the front, you have even more air intakes, a beautiful front lip spoiler. And moving on to the sides, we have six parking sensors in the front, a very beautiful wide fender. So the CLA45 has a wider front than the regular CLA Coupe. You get 18-inch rims wrapped in Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires with 4 brake pistons in the front, 2 in the rear, and of course you get perforated discs, as opposed to having 2 brake pistons in the front in the CLA250. Right. So on the side, of course, you also notice that you have a Turbo 4matic Plus badge. This is because this is a turbocharged engine, and this car is front wheel based, which has the ability to send power to the rear tires so you can whoop that booty. Moving on, of course, to this entire segment of the car, you have a power folding, auto dimming, heated side mirror that is just amazing. On the side, of course, you get keyless entry and ignition. You get a very aerodynamic design, beautiful side skirts that actually curve outwards to deflect all of that air and just give you that proper downforce. And because it's a CLA, it retains its coupe body style. So you get this very beautiful slopy roofline that gives it that beauty that it should have, but it has its perks. At the back, you get this very beautiful rear diffuser that is there to diffuse all the air just like it's supposed to. And typical AMG style, of course, you get dual exhaust tips on each side, making 4. Then you have your AMG badging, CLA45, beautiful, cute little rear spoiler. And beautifully, you have this LED rear lights, tail lights. Do you hear that? The beautiful growl of a Mercedes V8. Where were we? Yes, the trunk. So you can open the trunk in 3 ways: inside the car, via the key, or you get this motion censored hands-free tailgate. So this welcomes you to this trunk that is just beautiful, and the capacity is amazing. So you get a lot more trunk space, trunk capacity than its competitors, but you get a bit smaller than the previous generation, the C117. While we get extra storage underneath for your vulcanizing tools and the other stuff that are including your towing tools, you also do get a beautiful split rear seat system that allows you to have way more storage in this trunk. So as opposed to having your 11.6 cubic feet of storage trunk capacity, you can get more if you have those seats folded down. Then the only thing though is, just like I said, this has way more storage than most of its competitors, but this might be a problem. So for competitors like the BMW 2 Series, for example, you have wider entrance into the trunk, which allows for more comfortable way to slot in things into that trunk. This, however, is not that good. And moving on, inside the car, you are welcome to this aesthetic thing. I don't know what to call it. So right here, of course, we have this very beautiful sport bucket seat with side bolsters, of which you can see the controls down here. We have very perforated seats, and just like I said, they are heated and they are ventilated, and that is just amazing. Moving on to this area, of course, we have our infotainment screen, which is compatible with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto via USB connectivity, which is beautiful. This infotainment system also has the Mercedes-Benz latest MBUX infotainment system, or interface rather, which has a whole lot of stuff that you would love. So this screen is touch screen, and you also have a very beautiful touchpad with this, which you can rest your hand on in order to control and feel that comfort, which Mercedes is known for anyway. So to begin with, you have this navigation, which has augmented reality, but sadly we do not have this functioning in my region, and so I cannot show you exactly how it works. So of course you get your radio, you have your media, you have comfort, which leads you to this. So I don't know if you've noticed, but we have very beautiful ambient lights in this car, and you get 65 colors which you can choose from here. Right. So moving back away from that, of course, you get AMG performance. Here, you can see a whole lot about your car. You can see your petrol consumption. You can see like a whole lot of information. It is that the car has made available to you. This and a whole lot more, which also includes something very beautiful. So of course, you have your assistant features right here. You have your active brake assist, attention assist, and all of that. You have your camera parking. When it comes to this part of the car, of course, you have your drive mode controls on this side, which you also have on the steering, which is very amazing. And then, of course, typical Mercedes standard, you have Sport Plus, Sport, Comfort, and Individual, which is very customizable. But anyway, back to this. You have your volume button, and then you have your 360 camera view, which aids for driver assistance, which is very beautiful. On this side, of course, you also get your traction control and your suspension settings, which you also have on the steering wheel. So on this side, you have your digital, fully digital gauge cluster, which is amazing. Of course, you have your cruise control settings. You have your neck gear shifter right here. And then you have your paddle shifters and this flat bottom and flat-sided steering wheel, which is typical of AMG. So of course, on this side, you have your driver assistant features, and on this side, you have your audio controls. And just like I said, this for your drive modes, and this for like your traction control and your suspension settings. In the rear, of course, you get just about enough new room for me. You have this beautiful storage thingy right here behind the driver's seat. But when it comes to the headroom, it is enough for me, but it might not be enough for somebody who is a lot taller than I am because of this beautiful coupe style slopey roofline. But there you have it. Anyway, so this rear section, the seat is lower because of the styling of this car, obviously, so you tend to sit lower to the ground than in your regular cars. This is also super comfortable, and I think the thing I like the most here is actually not the ambient lighting. It is this grab handle, because it is beautiful and it feels quite durable for a CLA. So of course, all around the car, you have your Burmester sound system, which has beautiful speakers. Very beautiful. You get more ambient lighting in the back, and then you get like more driver assistant features for this car. So for this car standard, just like in normal Mercedes cars, you have your adaptive cruise control, you have your lane keeping assist, you have your blind spot monitoring, and you have that forward collision warning with automatic emergency braking, which can be very aggressive. Beneath the hood of the CLA45, we have the one-time most powerful Mercedes Turbo 4 engine, the M139. And in this M139 is also the first ever 4-cylinder engine to be hand-built by AMG using the one-man, one-engine philosophy. So we have this one built by Hoven Pelkovic. This M139 is a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, an inline 4, and you can see that massive turbocharger in there. This is mated to an 8-speed dual clutch transmission, and this sends all power to all 4 wheels. So like I said, this has the 4MATIC Plus drivetrain. This car is front wheel biased, but it has the ability to send power to the rear wheels so you can drift this car. Of course, we're talking about 382 horsepower, 478 Newton meters of torque, and this car sprints from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 3.7 seconds. That is bonkers for this car. When it comes to the fuel economy, of course, you get a turbocharged 4-cylinder car right here. So you get average of, I think combined is about 23 miles per gallon, but that is fair. However, if you put this car in Sport Plus, you shouldn't be thinking about your fuel economy. Now let's talk about the few things about this car that I may not particularly like. So the first thing, we have this open, beautiful intake for your oil cooler. And so you have your oil cooler very exposed. And in this case, while driving, stones and other stuff might chip the oil cooler, which may damage that oil cooler. While you get a very beautiful, sexy behind, you have fake air vent on the side there. And even more annoyingly, you get dual fake exhaust tips because this car doesn't have quad exhaust, it only has two. For the inside, of course, you have poor rear visibility because it's a coupe styled car, and so you have to depend heavily on your driver assistant features. Not cool. You can tell from my camera angle that you can't see me and I'm seated at the back. Meaning I can't see what's going on in front unless I stick my head out this way or I move and put my legs between the rear wheel hub and sit this way. So it might not exactly be the most convenient thing, and this is not ideal if I have my driver having poor rear visibility because I'm going to be obstructing his view at the back. You also get poor build quality in the interior. Nonetheless, it doesn't make this car any less of a great car. The braking power on this car is beautiful for a car its size and with its amount of power. You also get very great handling, especially with those suspension settings. And this car is a very good one to own. So tell me, if you have the opportunity to own this as against the BMW M2 or the Audi RS3, which would you rather own and why? Anyway, guys, thanks for sticking with me up until this extent. If you haven't yet, please do want to subscribe, and I would love to see you in the next one. Give me a thumbs up on your way out.